are all given the same 24 hours each day, yet we rarely ask ourselves where those hours go. Time is a silent thief, and often we are its accomplices. We waste it on mindless distractions, trivial pursuits, and people who drain our energy. But what if we could change that? What if we stopped scattering our attention and reclaimed our focus? To do this, we must turn inward, refine our self-control, and adopt the mindset of the Stoics. The path forward is clear. Focus on yourself and stop giving away your most valuable resource. Today, we will explore the key lessons that will help you sharpen your focus, overcome destructive emotions, and cultivate an unshakable inner strength. These are timeless principles to guide you toward the fortitude you seek. Principle 1. Reclaim your time from meaningless distractions. We are each given a finite measure of time, yet we squander it on pursuits that are hollow and fleeting. How often do we drift through the hours, consumed by idle gossip, endless scrolling, or mindless entertainment? The Stoic philosopher Seneca warned, "It is not that we have a short space of time, but that we waste much of it." True mastery of the self begins when we reclaim our time from these distractions. We must ask ourselves, are these activities adding value, or are they draining us of vitality? When we allow ourselves to be pulled into meaningless pursuits, we surrender control of our lives. The mind becomes restless, the soul dissatisfied. Instead of allowing external forces to dictate our focus, we must turn inward and guard our attention fiercely. Every moment spent on trivialities is a moment robbed from our growth, our goals, and our purpose. We must commit to purposeful action, filtering out the noise and directing our energy only towards what elevates us. Time is the most precious resource we possess. Once lost, it can never be recovered. Let us reclaim it by refusing to invest it in what is petty, shallow, and pointless. Let us honor each moment by using it with intention and meaning. This is how we regain control over our lives, by focusing on what truly matters. Principle 2. Master your mind. Tame the inner chaos. The battlefield of life exists first within the mind. If our thoughts are scattered and chaotic, our actions will reflect the same disorder. A mind left unchecked becomes a breeding ground for anxiety, frustration, and indecision. Marcus Aurelius, the great Stoic emperor, reminded us, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." The external world may rage on, but within, we can forge a sanctuary of calm, a fortress of self-mastery. We must learn to observe our thoughts without being enslaved by them. Desires, fears, and impulses arise, but they are not us. They are transient, mere visitors. Our task is to decide which thoughts deserve our energy and which should be dismissed. When we master this skill, we gain the ability to remain steady, even in the face of chaos. Distractions lose their grip on us, and we are free to pursue what is meaningful and worthy of our time. The world will always try to pull us in countless directions, but we are not leaves blown by the wind. We are the masters of our mental domain. By taming the inner chaos, we anchor ourselves in clarity and purpose. Let us cultivate this discipline, for a mind in control is a life in control. Principle 3. The power of purpose. Align your actions. To focus on yourself is to focus on what truly matters. In the noise of modern life, it's easy to lose our way, drifting from one meaningless task to another. But what if we lived with intention, with a clear sense of purpose guiding every step? Seneca once said, "To be everywhere is to be nowhere." We dilute our energy by spreading ourselves too thin, pursuing every fleeting distraction. True power lies in alignment, when our actions reflect our deeper goals. Identify what you value most. Is it growth, wisdom, freedom, or mastery of your craft? Align your daily life with these values. Every time you act without purpose, you squander time, the most irreplaceable resource. You could leave life right now, Marcus Aurelius reminds us. Let that determine what you do and say and think. If our time is finite, we cannot afford to waste it on pursuits that do not nourish the soul. When your purpose is clear, your path becomes sharp. Each decision, each moment, becomes a reflection of that deeper mission. You cut through the fog of distraction with the sword of intention. To live with purpose is not only stoic, it is the essence of a fulfilled life. Let's not drift aimlessly. Let's act deliberately, with conviction, with meaning. Principle 4. Master your reactions. Control is within. Life will test us. People will offend, circumstances will frustrate, and expectations will disappoint. But the ultimate question is this: will you react like a puppet on strings? Or will you remain the master of your own mind? Epictetus wisely taught, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. The power to control your reactions is one of the greatest strengths you possess. Most of us hand over this power too easily. We allow insults to sting, setbacks to demoralize, and negativity to poison our minds. But the Stoic understands that external events are beyond our control. Only our inner world is ours to govern. When you pause before reacting, you reclaim your sovereignty. You recognize that the outburst of anger or the sting of jealousy is a choice, not an inevitability. To master your reactions is to free yourself from the tyranny of others' behavior. Imagine the strength of remaining calm when others lose their composure. Picture the quiet fortitude of maintaining your dignity amid provocation. This self-mastery doesn't mean suppressing emotions, it means transcending them. When you control your reactions, you control your reality. In every moment of conflict or challenge, ask yourself, is this worth my peace? More often than not, the answer will be a resounding no. Choose to guard your calm. In doing so, you build a fortress of inner strength that no storm can breach. Principle 5. Embrace the power of solitude. Find strength in stillness. In a world drowning in noise, distractions, and the constant pull of others' demands, solitude becomes a sanctuary. We often fear being alone, mistaking it for loneliness. But solitude is not isolation. It is where we connect most deeply with ourselves. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." When you cultivate solitude, you forge an inner world that thrives even when the outer world falters. Solitude is the forge where self-awareness and self-mastery are crafted. In moments of stillness, we confront our thoughts without distraction. We reflect on who we are, what we value, and where we are headed. Without this pause, life becomes a blur. Actions without intention, days without meaning. The Stoic knows that in silence, clarity is born. When you step back from the noise, you can see the world and yourself more clearly. In solitude, you become your own guide. You hear the whispers of your intuition, and you recognize the chains of external expectations that you need to break. Solitude gives you the space to recharge, refocus, and realign with your principles. And when you return to the world, you do so with strength, not fragility. Your calm becomes unshakable because it is rooted in the depths of your own soul. Do not fear solitude, embrace it. In those moments of quiet, you cultivate a peace that no chaos can disturb, a strength that no noise can shatter. Principle 6. Choose your battles wisely. Let go of what doesn't serve you. Life will constantly present us with provocations, challenges, and petty disputes. But the wise know that energy is precious, and not every battle deserves our engagement. Seneca wrote, "It is not that we have a short space of time, but that we waste much of it." Engaging in every minor conflict or meaningless quarrel drains our time, patience, and mental strength. True power lies in the ability to discern what is worth our focus and what should be dismissed without a second thought. To react to every slight, every insult, or every inconvenience is to be a puppet controlled by the strings of others' actions. Instead, the Stoic cultivates an unwavering calm, analyzing whether the issue at hand truly matters in the grand scheme. Ask yourself, will this matter tomorrow, in a month, in a year? If the answer is no, release it. By choosing not to engage, you regain control of your inner world. You are no longer a slave to your impulses, but a master of your own response. Every moment spent on petty battles is a moment lost for growth, purpose, and self-mastery. Let others waste their energy on meaningless disputes. We rise above. When you choose your battles, you conserve your strength for what truly matters, building a life of purpose, not distraction. Remember, your calm is a fortress, and not every passing storm deserves entry. Principle 7. Mastering the art of letting go. Releasing attachment to outcomes. It is human nature to become attached to results. We set goals, work tirelessly, and place expectations on ourselves and the world around us. But as any true Stoic knows, attachment to outcomes is the root of suffering. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, warned against it. We are not disturbed by what happens to us, but by our thoughts about what happens. The Stoic practice involves focusing on what is within our control and releasing the rest. We must learn to let go of the need to control outcomes and instead focus solely on our actions, knowing that they are the only true domain we have power over. The results, no matter how hard we work for them, are not guaranteed, and to hinge our happiness on them is to surrender to forces beyond our control. Consider this: you may do everything right, put in all the effort, yet still fail. But that failure is not your defeat. Your defeat lies in your inability to accept it with grace, in your refusal to learn from it. Releasing attachment to outcomes frees you from the emotional roller coaster that defines most lives. Success and failure are external circumstances. How you respond to them defines your inner peace. Letting go is not the same as giving up. It's simply acknowledging that, in a world full of chaos and unpredictability, the only thing truly within your grasp is how you choose to respond. And in that response lies your greatest strength. Principle 8. Cultivating patience. Understanding the importance of timing. In a world that values speed and instant gratification, patience is often seen as a weakness. Yet in the teachings of Stoicism, patience is one of the highest virtues. It is the ability to endure without complaint, to maintain calm in the face of adversity, and to act when the time is right, not when it is easiest. Epictetus famously said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." In this mastery, patience plays a central role. Patience is not about sitting idly by. It is about understanding that everything has its time. The Stoics taught that there is a natural order to things, and part of wisdom is recognizing when to act and when to remain still. Rushing into decisions without reflection or trying to force outcomes only leads to mistakes and unnecessary stress. When you feel frustration building, when the world seems to be moving too slowly or your goals seem to be out of reach, take a step back. Breathe deeply. Understand that timing is crucial. Just as the farmer cannot rush the crops to grow faster, so too must we allow our actions to unfold in their own time. The Stoics teach us to trust the process, to have faith that things will align when they are meant to, and that our patience in the interim strengthens us. In practicing patience, you begin to see the beauty of living in harmony with the natural flow of life. You no longer feel the need to fight against the current, but move with it. The tension between what you want and what you have becomes less painful. In patience, you find peace. Principle 9. Embrace adversity. Finding strength in struggle. We often seek comfort, avoiding pain and hardship at all costs. Yet the Stoics understood that true strength and growth are forged in adversity. They taught us that life is filled with challenges. These are not obstacles to be avoided, but opportunities to grow. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic emperors, once said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Every difficulty, every obstacle, is a chance to test our fortitude, to rise above our circumstances and grow stronger. The Stoics embraced hardship not as something to be feared, but as a vital part of the human experience. When we face adversity with calm and resolve, we transform it from a source of suffering into a vehicle for personal transformation. In moments of difficulty, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I grow stronger from this experience? Instead of allowing negative emotions to overwhelm you, let them propel you forward. Life's trials are not meant to break you, but to shape you into a wiser, more resilient person. The Stoic does not shy away from hardship, but faces it head-on, knowing that this is the crucible where true character is forged. By embracing adversity, you stop seeing life's challenges as misfortunes. Instead, you begin to see them as the tests that will shape your destiny. Through struggle, we become better versions of ourselves. Through resistance, we gain strength. And through enduring hardships, we develop the fortitude that will guide us in every aspect of life. Conclusion: the journey to mastery lies within. The path of Stoicism is not for the faint of heart. It is a journey that requires us to face ourselves, to refine our actions, and to cultivate an unwavering resolve. To focus on yourself is not selfish, it is essential. The Stoics remind us that time is our most precious asset, and squandering it on distractions, idle pursuits, or destructive emotions is the greatest disservice to our potential. Epictetus said, "How long are you going to wait before you demand the best for yourself?" The answer lies not in tomorrow, but in now. True mastery comes when we align our actions with our principles, when we fortify our mind against external noise, and when we direct our energy toward what we can control. When we choose to rise above fleeting desires, toxic influences, and wasted time, we discover the power of self-control, clarity, and purpose. As we part ways, remember this: your greatest responsibility is to yourself. The life you want is not granted by chance, it is carved out by deliberate action. Focus inward, strengthen your mind, strive for fortitude, and in doing so, you will achieve a peace and resilience that no external force can shake. What are your views on this? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I will personally read all of your comments. And if you seriously want to level up in life, don't forget to show some love by hitting the like and subscribe button. Stay strong. Until next time.